I would ask you now to take a nice deep breath in and make the big sigh, make the ah sound. Let the breathing come back to normal, eyes opening. I think it's a good idea to recognize things that people do all over the world. For instance, most people all over the world, if you ask them to point at themselves, they'll point right here. And I don't think that's an accident. We also want to understand, things like the ah sound. All over the world, when people have a hard day's work and they've done what they're meant to do that day, when they come home, they have that sigh. It's a beautiful sigh. So, access that. Access it. Access the sound. When do we do that? Usually when something tastes really good, when your body feels like it's soaking up nutrition, we make the sound. I would suggest that it works even with experience. One of my great teachers said all experience is a form of food. When you hang out with someone and you feel nutritionally enhanced, later on, just make that sound. It connects you to that and actually promotes those elements. Today, I want to touch base very briefly on just a couple of things. One is that is funny to me. Yesterday, Shanti reminded me of about a little over a month ago, before the virus really became really huge news. I was walking with my daughter, and there was a woman walking the opposite direction, walking towards us, and she says, this woman says, "Oh, I'm so happy to see a grandfather with his daughter or with his grandchild." And I'm like, thanks. So, of course, my daughter loved that. She's 12 years old, and she loves giving me a hard time. So yesterday, she was talking about my hair. She's like, "Dad, I remember when your hair used to be brown." Yep, everything changes. Everything changes. But that doesn't mean that everything has to change. Even though everything does change, you can have a relationship to your inner world that is unchanging. There's something in your inner world, the deepest levels of who you are, that is always the same. You've always been that. It's always been you from the very beginning all the way through the very end of your life. So, access it. Remember, every person should have a code, and your code should help you guide you through life. I'm suggesting living life as though it were a vow. It doesn't mean that you're always going to live up to it, but at least you always have that North Star that you can shoot for. So live your life as a code. What is your code of honor? What are those things that you will not do? What are the things that you would never disrespect someone with? It's my impression that a lot of people are not recognizing the need of having a code. Even when they take a vow, they don't take that vow very seriously, even at the highest levels. So live your life as though it were a vow, and that vow is to become your authentic self and to live giving rather than taking, and doing it sooner rather than later. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I believe this is day 17. I'm going to check on that. Let's keep this up. Let's finish it. And remember, even if you start today, or even if you start next week, or even the last week of the 40 days, you can still do this process. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we're going, and all of a sudden something knocks us down. That's okay. In order to get to where you want to go, you have to accept where you are and make peace with that. So thank you very much. I want to wish for you just the most wonderful day today. And I want to thank you for inspiring me. Here we go. Most people, when they think about changing the world, they're really thinking about something out there changing. They don't realize that you can't change the world if you don't change yourself first. I'm going to bring my hands in a prayer position, and I bow to you, for we are a community together. Namaste.